Hello, I'm Jashikins, and I do reviews. I review TV shows, films, books, and even the occasional fanfic. And I do take requests, people. I do take requests. But the only catch is I only take requests via one specific link. If you are watching this on the YouTubes, the request link is in the description. And if you are watching this on my Bloggity blog, the request link is up above. And if you've clicked on the request link, you'll notice that it's a patron-only post. So, you have to pay me a little, help, just pay a little and I will review whatever the fuck you want. Within certain limits, and if you do read the post, you'll see what I do, what I don't do, such as with TV shows, I only will review an entire season and not individual episodes 99% of the time, unless there is something special about the episode, such as maybe it's an infamous so bad episode. So, So if you request TV shows, just remember I'm only going to do seasons 99.9% of the time. And so, what am I reviewing today? I am reviewing New Moon by Stephenie Meyers, which is the sequel to Twilight. Yes, people, somehow the epic romance of Bella and Edward deserved another book. Because it's not really a love story. It's like, here's an abuser and here's an abusee. And it's like, we all know that Bella's going to end up with Edward, so why are you dragging this? Oh yeah, money. Gotcha. I think that Stephenie Meyer only wanted one book in the Twilight series originally. But then I've heard about this. The actual sequel to Twilight, was never written, and so we get New Moon, Eclipse, and then Breaking Dawn. I was so fucking ready to say Breaking Bad. I was about to say Breaking Bad. I'm like, nope. No, that's not what I was going for. So yeah. I did a little research, like tiny bit. But anyways, this review of New Moon will contain spoilers. So if you give a shit about spoilers, read the book, come back and watch my review. And if you've already read the book and or don't care about spoilers, let's begin. Oh, actually, before we actually begin, if you want a copy of this book and you want to help support me, if you're watching this on the YouTube's link in the description, and if you're watching this on my Bloggity blog, link below the video, and both links will take you to buy your own lovely copy of New Moon. I'm going to feel sad when I start reviewing books on the Kindle, because then I won't be able to say, hey, look, I'm reviewing this. Woot! Oh, God. Okay, part 1 of this review. Continuing on from my headcanon from the first book, Twilight headcanon in Book 2. Esme has a power that is hidden from everyone until they are fully loyal to the cult, because, slight recap, the Cullens are actually a cult. Watch my Twilight review for more information there. Since she is always referred to as a mother and wanting a family, that power makes sure she has a family. She makes it so that people stay by her side. This is done by making them feel extremely connected to her and the rest of her family. This is maintained by obsessive thoughts and even hallucinations. The reason Edward Cullen is so fucking abusive is because he tried to resist. Oh, words aren't coming out easy today. The reason Edward Cullen is so abusive is because he tried to resist Esme's power to his detriment. Edward warned Rosalie, the woman he was supposed to be with, and so she was able to resist without going mad. Carlisle's plan truly came to start with Esme, as he realized by using her, he could make sure that no one would leave. At least not for good, as we can see, the Cullens do separate from time to time. They're not always together, but they will always come back together because of Esme's power. Yep, Bella Swan sees hallucinations of Edward because of Esme. This would explain why Edward appeared because of Jacob even before Bella realized the truth about him being a werewolf. It would also explain why Alice came right when Bella was able to resist her hallucinations. And just that, she was about to kiss Jacob. I nearly fucking threw the book across the room when Alice just happened to appear. I was just like, fuck! I mean, I know Bella's not going to end up with Jacob. Fuck! I forgot how fucking sudden that was when I reread it for this review. The Cullens left Forks to test how strong Esme's hold was on Bella. They wanted to make sure that their control was absolute. The only thing that wasn't planned was Edward and Rosalie's actions. When Rosalie thought Bella had killed herself, she called Edward, not to mock him, but because he believed if Bella died, he'd be just strong enough to resist Esme. In his brief moments of resistance, he would try to kill himself. He didn't want to be a slave to Esme or her madness. The top 4 members of the cult are Carlisle, since he's the leader, Edward, as he can read minds. You can't really fucking hide shit from a guy that can read minds, am I right? Alice, as she can see the future, and Esme, as she can make sure no one leaves. Alice, though, has another agenda. She has seen Bella destroying vampire society. As Alice has been turned in such turbulent times, she wishes all vampire society to fall. Alice thinks Bella can do that and possibly start something better. Not that Bella has to live for the vampires to be reborn. Alice forms a relationship with Charlie and tells him everything. She tells him how to hide his thoughts from Edward and also reveals everything about vampires. So, the part when Bella's, survived her a suicide attempt, not really suicide attempt, and she's pretending to be asleep on the couch, and Alice and Charlie are talking, and Bella's like, I wonder where she's putting the food. That's why Charlie is well aware. Also, it was revealed in the fucking first book, you dumb bitch, Bella, that vampires can't eat normal food. It just tastes like shit to them. So where is she putting it? Goddamn Bella. Fuck. Gonna lose my shit. The reason Charlie is excited about Jacob is that Bella will be saved a terrible future. Bella isn't resistant to other vampire powers. Instead, they are dimmed. Arrow and the others of the Volturi, including the guards, acted like they did to fool Bella. Arrow wanted to have an advantage over Bella as Edward had revealed the Cullens' plan to overthrow them. Through Alice, Arrow saw the Cullens and Volturi dying. He knows that her visions aren't fully trustworthy, and so knows there is a chance he can save the Volturi. Because of Jacob telling others about the Cold One/vampires, none of his tribe want to reveal important information to him, such as the chance of him becoming a werewolf. This is why it seems no one in the tribe knows that some children could become werewolves. I mean, the only other thing to believe is that they just don't fucking tell. Just to add, drama to the story. But that's fucking stupid, isn't it? It's better to believe in a headcanon that goddamn makes some sense. God. I didn't know if I would have been able to do this review today. Just because it was just a little bit hectic. Wake up, and then a few hours later, I take the birds to get their wings clipped. Loki's problems turn out to be that he's fucking fat. So I'm like, I didn't know if I would actually have time or energy to do this, so. Okay. Now on to part 2 of this review. Oh, and also, if you are watching during the live stream and want to join in the group chat, please do. Every moment between parts, I am checking the chat and I'll answer questions and interact with you. If anyone shows up. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Sorry. Goddamn, keep on messing this goddamn thing up. I'm like, oh, hey. This is probably going to continue out through all my reviews, and not until, like, review 50 will I have everything under control. Anyways, part 2. The Jacob-Bella relationship is the saving grace of this book. I think the reason this book wasn't as bad as the first is due to the Jacob-Bella relationship. Everyone knows this relationship won't work out due to Bella Edward being shown as the perfect relationship. But hey, reading the majority of this book makes one dream of a day when Bella will dump Edward. If only. One thing that makes the Jacob-Bella relationship so appealing is that he treats her like a real fucking human being. Edward calls her stupid and constantly reminds her that she is weak. While Jacob has some "goddammit Bella" moments, he is always supportive. He never goes overboard in calling her stupid or making her do what he thinks is smart. Instead, he tells Bella how to do things she wants to do safely. It's like Jacob wasn't sure about her getting the motorcycles. Like, really, Bella? I just don't see you as a bike girl, but okay. I'll help you fix up the bike and take you on the motorcycle and teach you how to do that. And when she shows interest in cliff diving, he doesn't go, "You'll just fucking hurt yourself, you dumb bitch." He goes, "Okay, one day I will take you, but not at the height you're looking at. We're going to go lower. We're going to start you off slowly. I know you want to go big, Bella, but you can just reel yourself in." So, he's more like, damn it, Bella. Okay, here's how you'll do the thing you want to do, but safely. Has a much different feel to it than Edward's. No, you're not going cliff diving, Bella. No, you're not going motorcycle. I'm not going to work with you. I'm just going to say I'm right, and you're not going to do that shit. Very different feel. When Jacob is jealous, he is normal about it. He joins in on the Mike hate train, but he admits he's like the human. He wants Bella and will wait for her. He doesn't force himself on her. Instead, he slowly tests the water so he can get closer to her without being a creep. So, in other words, he doesn't go instantly to, I love you, I'm going to watch you sleep. Yeah, he's like, okay, it's like he knows she's an abuse victim, and he goes, okay, very slowly, okay, you like this touching, no, you don't like that touching, okay, so I won't go further. He acts like a normal fucking human being, and he's a goddamn werewolf. He's like the most human character. Of course, his character has a little change in Eclipse, but we'll get to that when we get to Eclipse, because I'm pretty sure I will fucking rant about that one. Jacob does get angry a few times, but it's always in a normal way. He is going through changes and it's freaking him out. Added to that, he has become a werewolf and has a huge responsibility placed on his shoulder. His biggest freakout is about her nearly dying. Of course, he has a right to freak out when the person he loves nearly died. He doesn't go overboard with his statements about her either. Oh, it's like, of course he's going to freak out about, oh, you nearly killed yourself. It's like he has all this huge responsibility. He's making sure this vampire that wants revenge doesn't get her fangs on Bella. And, then she goes off and goes cliff diving on the highest point, which Jacob said, no, just wait for a day where I can take you. And when he couldn't take her that one day because of, responsibilities, he's allowed a little freak out. And again, he doesn't go overboard with his statements. It's like he can tell Bella is an abuse victim and Edward is the abuser. He therefore hates the Cullens because they support Edward's behavior. It's not because he's a werewolf and they're vampires. Whew. Ah, goddamn. Okay, don't delete part of the script, dude. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, checking up on the group chat, and there's no one watching the review live, and no one who's left something on the group chat, so just going to take a moment to chill here. Oh, and Brian, God damn it, Rev Resner, he helped with getting the birds into the travel cage, and he's not really used to handling the birds, so he tried to, be kind about it, grabbing, not really want to grasp. Because their little parakeets are small, but you can grab them a little. Because if you don't, they'll just go, woo! And he didn't really understand about the net. Because he waved it around like a butterfly, like he was trying to catch butterflies. And what I found really works when I tried to catch them with a little fish net is you just hold it by your side, sort of limp, and you don't tense up or anything before, moving it to intercept the parakeet. And he's just like, I admit, I think I was crying myself because of laughter. Because I felt bad. I was like, a few times, I'm like, hey, I'll do this for you, but yeah. I think he still has this idea that parakeets are all nice and sweet, and if he just treats them well enough, they'll do things for him. The thing are, they're sweet and adorable, and they're my babies, and I love them like they're my own children. But when they have a chance to be an asshole, they will. Even if they aren't scared of you, they just want to cause chaos. They're birds. And back to the Twilight, not Twilight review, New Moon review, part 3. The werewolves are awesome. The werewolves in the Twilight series are just awesome. Yes, they don't change during the full moon, but that doesn't matter to me. A big plus is that even in the movie adaptations, which I've only seen bits and pieces of, I've already read the book, so I think that's like, I've done my duty there. But anyways, a big plus is that even in the movie adaptations, the werewolves still looked like wolves. For comparison, in the Harry Potter books, there were only a few differences to tell real wolves and werewolves apart. However, in the movies, werewolves look like your classic Hollywood werewolves. Yeah, and if you don't get already, I'm sort of against anthropomorphic werewolves. Werewolves react to the presence of cold ones, aka vampires. If there aren't any vampires, then there won't be any werewolves. This shows the whole werewolves and vampires conflict. In this case, giving a reason for the werewolves to hate vampires, as that is their purpose of being. You can't get a much purer hate than, this is my reason for existence, to fuck you up. You know? Becoming a werewolf also depends on genetics. You have to be part of the, I'm gonna fucking butcher this name, Quillate tribe. The tribe that Jacob is a part of. Yeah. You can have 1,000,001 corrections for that in the comments below. Quillate tribe. Fuck. I'm horrible at these pronunciations, and I would say I'm sorry to the tribe, but Stephanie Meyer did not do her research. Long story short. And you can probably Google, yeah, it's fun times. Hence, someone like Mike or Jessica don't become werewolves. Werewolves are a pack, and there's an alpha, even though in real life there is no such thing as an alpha wolf. Though, to be fair to Stephanie Meyer, I use the whole alpha wolf thing in my own writings. Anyways, anything an alpha wolf says goes. Well, only if the alpha wolf demands it. Hence, Jacob can't tell Bella the truth about him being a werewolf. And he has to, use the whole sneak around of, guess, Bella. And I think it took her so long to figure this shit out just to drag out the book. Because really, she did research about vampires in the first book. She should fucking know about the whole werewolf-vampire feud thing. And she should have realized when there were giant wolves chasing after a vampire, not her. Glued her in. But, no one has ever said Bella was smart. That's not going to be changing anytime soon, I can assure you. Werewolves are also telepathic. They can talk mind to mind while in wolf form. Uh, The downside to this is that when a werewolf assumes their wolf form, every thought is known to the pack, so no real privacy there. If you like privacy, you wouldn't like being a werewolf in the Twilight universe. Finally, werewolves can turn into their wolf form when angered. During this time, they can accidentally hurt people they truly care about. Myers seems to really like people with anger problems. First, Edward lashes out nearly constantly and admits to having anger issues. Now there's a whole species with anger issues. I mean, it's like, does Stephanie Meyer have a thing? Because it definitely feels like Stephanie Meyer has a thing, and it's called anger issues. How can you have a romance without anger issues? I mean, Sam, the alpha, sliced up his fiance's or wife's face. It's like, oh, that's. Although I'm not going to really talk about that in this review because I didn't write shit down, and if I start going off script too much, I am really fucking shitty. Really shitty, and not the good kind of shitty either. And that's the end of that part. So, okay, Google Hangouts, please work for me for a moment because it was refusing to show the chat up the group chat here. So, ow. So yeah, take a little breather here. And as I said before, my parakeets now have their wings clipped. And they're still getting used to it, and I was going to like play around tonight, but then like they're too fucking tired. I mean, they were falling asleep on the way back. So, and they still also need to get over being pissed off. But it is, I admit, sort of adorable. They're on the ground, and they can't fly up, so they sort of have, so their wings are clipped, the feathers that allow them to fly are cut off. Don't worry, folks, they grow back. And so they come like over with these shortened wings, looking all fucking pissed off, and they sort of have an expression that says, I am pissed off that you have done this shit to me, but can you help me up? I hate you, but I need your help. Yeah. Hoping with the clipped wings they can, move around more, and especially Loki needs to lose weight and become a little bit more active. And if you're wondering if I'm just like making a joke about his weight, he's gained weight. He is way too fucking fat. The vet always comments on it, and it's not a good thing. I like my birds being healthy. But anyways, enough of my bird issues. Let's go back to New Moon. Part 4. Meyer has no understanding of Romeo and Juliet. A lot of people mistake Romeo and Juliet as a romance for the ages. You notice when there's some romance movie or novel, oh, it's a love story like Romeo and Juliet, or some fucking tagline or some shit in the trailers. It's like, I see you too have no understanding of what Romeo and Juliet is actually about. And for the listener, that really fucking pisses me off. Sort of on the level of the creature from Frankenstein being referred to as Frankenstein, instead of realizing that it's the doctor who is Frankenstein, while the creature is never named. I know, I'm just like a little fucking nerd there. Don't pay attention to me. Meyer falls into the trap of thinking Romeo and Juliet is a love story. I didn't think this theme or sub-theme really would bother me as much as it did. But nearly halfway through the book, I found myself wanting to scream and rage at how poorly Meyer misinterpreted Romeo and Juliet. The full title of the William Shakespeare play is The Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. The bard did not intend for this play to be about true love. He intended it to be about the foolishness of young love. This is why Romeo grows infatuated with Juliet the moment he breaks up with Rosalind. This is why both of them end up killing themselves at the end. Their love is young and foolish. Once you fucking look at the play, it's like, all these things happen. That's not love. That's not true love. That's too many fucking stupid shit happening here. And for years and years, I actually hated Romeo and Juliet just because I'm like, this is not love, this is so fucking stupid. And then when some people point out, like, it's about the foolishness of young love, I'm like, that actually makes the play bearable. Because it's not you trying to imitate Romeo and Juliet, it's you going, fuck, you two are stupid. They kill each other at the end, and it's like, really? This is not some true love scenario. When Meyer says that the play wouldn't have done as well if Juliet formed a romance / fell in love with Paris after breaking up with Romeo. As a major theme of the play is the foolishness of young love, Juliet being with Paris would have shown how much she was growing, that she is no longer a child held back by childish ideals. It would, show a big character growth for Juliet of going, okay, I'm putting away childish things and actually being a goddamn adult. So, I'm not going to fucking, kill myself over this guy I just met. Or fake killing and I end up actually killing myself. Yeah, true love there. That would actually be really fucking cool to read. And that would actually be cool to read Juliet going, okay, fuck off, Romeo. I'm becoming an adult. I realize I am just infatuated with you and don't actually love you. And I'm thinking, maybe I could write that. But then it's like, I'm doing so many fucking things, I don't have time. That's a sad thing about getting ideas right, because it's like, you don't get to actually write a bunch of them because you're already working on the other shit and you want to finish up the first shit. And that's the end of part 4. And so another little break. I'm going to check on the chat if Google will actually let me. And finally it did. And no one's come to watch even a bit of the review and leave a comment. And the group chat. Oh, God. I totally understand people not watching this live, as you have more important things to do, which is basically anything, let's admit that, than watch someone rant about this book. As, yeah. Okay, we just have one more part to go, folks. One more part to go. Okay, part 5. Bella trying to kill herself to see Edward and the canonical reason for it. So in other words, we're going through for the canonical reason and not my cool ass headcanon reason. My headcanon reason for Bella trying to kill herself to see Edward is just that. It's a headcanon. While I resist thinking of the canonical reason as right, it is. It is also extremely stupid. My headcanon had a struggle of a girl trying to find freedom from a cult. It had an otherworldly menace to it. Hell, it gave Bella's relationship with Jacob the weight of a person finding recovery. So it's Jacob and Bella isn't just, any romance. It's actually has some fucking weight. It's not just, two pretty people on the page. It, fucking weight to it. The canonical reason Bella sees Edward is, just prepare yourselves, alright? The canonical reason Bella sees Edward is a part of her always knew he loved her. That even after the act Edward put on, a part of Bella knew the truth. She knew Edward loved her. I guess it does make some sense. Edward has anger issues and Bella orgasms when he yells at her. Therefore, putting herself in situations where he would yell at her would make her happy. Bella is an abuse victim and likes being abused. Though this still doesn't make sense, as why wouldn't these hallucinations clue Bella into that fact? Whenever I write weird dreams or visions, there is always a point to them. In my Game of Thrones fic, A Marriage of Convenience, Jon Snow has some odd visions. Yet all of them had a point in trying to warn Jon that he was being used. If you look at those scenes, you'll see that point being made time and time again. However, Bella's seen hallucinations of Edward never does that. It never shows the reader that Edward still loves her. All it does is make the reader see how obsessed Bella is over true love. True love that's so fucking demeaning enough to be appropriate for what the fuck's going on in this Twilight series. And that is the end of my... Come on, chat. Okay, there we go. And that is the end of my new moon review. It's always I spend like maybe 2 weeks or so reading and preparing, and these reviews always seem to just fly past. But anyways, yeah, that's the end of New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. And again, if you, for some fucking reason, want to read this book and want to support me, if you're watching on the YouTubes, link in the description, and if you're watching this on my blog, link below the video. And even though I do say negative shit, there's just something about these Twilight books that's oddly enchanting. It's like you never think it's a good book, but it's always amusing enough to just continue reading and reading and reading. I have no clue why. And the next review I will do will be the third book in the Twilight series, Eclipse. Ooh. They say I'm going to be sad when I start doing the books on Kindle, because there's something just about holding a book up and saying, hey, look, we're going to read this. But the house only has very limited space. Really limited space. Like, I could walk you all around this house in probably a minute. And so, yeah, that's going to be the next one. Third book in the Twilight series. We're nearly over. And you're watching this on the YouTubes, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching this on my Blog Day blog and you're watching the desktop version, use the follow by email option. So you get alerted to every time a new wonderful post comes onto my blog. And I ask you to do this because I don't get the respect I so deserve in my day-to-day life, so I come to you, people of the interwebs, to, help me out. And again, the next review I will be doing will be Eclipse by Stephanie Meyer, third book in the Twilight series. And I have no clue when I'll be getting the review out. It usually takes me maybe a week or two to read a book. So, and until next time, goodbye.